One popular place for sports that I visited is the Singapore National Stadium. I went there during my trip to Singapore last year, and it was honestly more exciting than I expected. At that time, my husband and I were just exploring the city, but when we saw the stadium from outside, we decided to get tickets for a local football match. I've never really been into sports, but that day was special. The stadium is huge and modern. It can hold over 50,000 people, and the design is really impressive. It even has a roof that can open and close. During the match, I was surprised by how clean, organized, and high-tech everything was. The energy from the crowd was amazing. I've been to other stadiums before, but this one felt more like an experience than just a game. Overall, it wasn't just about football. It was about how a place can bring people together. If I had more time, I would have joined a stadium tour or checked out other events there. Since then, I've been thinking more about how public spaces, even sports places, can be designed to inspire people. That trip has really opened my eyes, and it keeps pushing me to grow, not just in work but in life. 1. Why do people like going to sports stadiums? Answer: I think many people enjoy the atmosphere. It's loud, exciting, and full of energy. Watching a match at home is fine, but being in a stadium feels more real. Also, for some people, it's a chance to hang out with friends or support their team in person. 2. Do you think government should invest more in sports facilities? Answer: yes, definitely. Sports can improve people's health and bring communities together. If the government builds more public gyms or fields, more people will exercise. Plus, it gives young people a healthy way to spend their free time.
Describe a place you visited that has been affected by air pollution or is not clean.
One place I visited that has been affected by air pollution is Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam. I went there for a business trip about a year ago. It was my first time in Hanoi, and I was really excited to explore the city. But to be honest, the air felt quite heavy, especially in the morning. I remember waking up, opening the window, and seeing the sky full of dust and smoke. There were a lot of motorbikes and cars, and I think that's one of the main reasons for the pollution. I also saw many people wearing masks, even before COVID. Some areas felt quite crowded and not very clean, especially near the markets. As someone working in real estate, I was curious about the living environment there, and I realized that air quality really matters when choosing a place to live. Overall, I think Hanoi is still a beautiful city with great culture and food, but the air pollution is something people need to take seriously. If the city improves its traffic and adds more green areas, it would be a much better place to live in the future. 1. What are the causes of air pollution in big cities? I think the main reason is too much traffic, especially motorbikes and old cars. These things release toxic gases and fine dust, which stay in the air and harm our lungs. That's why people living in big cities often wear masks and get sick more easily. Factories also release dirty smoke, and in some cities, people burn trash in the open, which makes it worse. What can individuals do to help reduce air pollution? Why? People can use public transport or walk more, so there will be less smoke from motorbikes. They should also avoid burning trash, because it creates toxic gases. Another idea is to plant more trees, since trees help clean the air naturally. These small things can really help if many people do them. One noisy place I've been to is Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. I went there for a business trip about a year ago, and the first thing I noticed was the sound. I stayed in a hotel near the old quarter, and at first, I was really excited. Everything felt new and lively. The streets were full of sounds, motorbike horns, people talking loudly, and street vendors shouting. But after a few days, the constant noise started to bother me. It was hard to relax or get a good night's sleep. What felt exciting at first slowly became quite tiring. Hanoi is a busy city with a lot of traffic. There are so many motorbikes and cars, and they all seem to move at the same time. Even inside coffee shops, it's often crowded and noisy. As someone working in real estate, I paid attention to the living environment, and I felt like noise pollution could really affect the quality of life there. Overall, I still think Hanoi is a special place with great food and culture, but if someone prefers a quiet and peaceful lifestyle, they might find it a bit stressful. Maybe in the future, the city will improve its traffic and create more quiet spaces for people to relax. 1. Why are cities often noisier than the countryside? Because cities have more people, more vehicles, and more construction going on all the time. All of that creates constant noise, like traffic, horns, and machines. In the countryside, it's quieter because there's less movement, and you mostly hear nature instead of traffic. 2. Do you think people can get used to living in a noisy place? Yes, some people get used to it, especially if they've lived in cities for a long time. But I think too much noise every day can still affect their health and mood, even if they don't notice it. That's because noise can cause stress, poor sleep, and difficulty concentrating over time. One place I've been to that felt both noisy and polluted is Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam. I went there for a business trip about a year ago, and I stayed near the old quarter. At first, I was really excited because it was my first time there, but after a few days I started to notice the constant traffic noise, motorbike horns, people talking loudly, and street vendors shouting from early morning to late at night. At the same time, the air felt quite dusty, especially in the morning. There were too many motorbikes, and I also saw some people burning trash on the street, which made the air even worse. Even when I sat in a coffee shop, it was still noisy and a bit smoky. As someone working in real estate, I realized that noise and air pollution really affect the quality of life in a place. It made me think more carefully about the living environment when helping clients find a home. Overall, Hanoi is still a great city with amazing food and culture, but if someone prefers a quiet and clean lifestyle, it might not be the best place right now. Hopefully in the future, the city will have more green spaces, better traffic control, and cleaner air.